Yeah, hi, good morning guys. Mike here at Global Investments. I'm back in the office today after a few days off for Christmas, which is great. I'm just planning next year, and I just thought I'd give you my thoughts today. I've been looking at or thinking about the last 10 years that we've been selling properties in the US in different types of markets, and just looking at what I think is going to be one of our biggest markets next year, and I still think it's going to be Cleveland. And I just wanted to give you my thoughts on why I think Cleveland is still a great investment in terms of cash flow and also growth as well, because I think a lot of people might be sitting on the fence, you know, is it the right time? Is it not the right time? Has the market gone up too much? Which it has. It's gone up a lot over the last 3 or 4 years. We've been in the Cleveland market now for coming up to our 5th year. So it's a good point, but I think for anyone looking at getting involved in Cleveland or investing in the city now, we've already seen price increases from 22 to 23 and a major lift over the last 3 or 4 years. But it's not a sign to stop investing in the city, as Cleveland, I think, shows signs of being very similar to, for example, the Florida market or the Detroit market over the last decade or the last 12 to 13 years. So I think it's still a great time to get involved in Cleveland, but how long do we have left? That's the big question before potentially prices outprice themselves and the returns aren't as attractive as other cities, you know. And remember, when you're looking at investing in these types of properties, they're not short-term investments. So my advice to anybody, any first-time investor or seasoned investor, you don't invest in a property unless that money that you're investing in can be put away for 5 or 10 years. So my advice to anybody, if you feel that you're going to need that money in the next 6 to 12 months, you don't buy the house, because these are not 6 month or 12 months investments. They're 5 to 10 to 15 year investments. So I think you have to look at that, and to get the best cash flow and growth out of these properties, you have to see the longevity in it. You have to look at it long term, not short term. These are not properties that you can buy today and flip in a year's time to make money. In fact, they might go down a little bit in the next year, but as long as you've got cash flow and realize that over the next 5 to 10 years, the prices are going to go up. And like, if you look at the Florida market, which I've got a lot of experience in, that's where I started my work in the US, which was like, I don't know, 15 or 16 years ago. And like, I was selling single family homes for $50,000 that would rent for, I don't know, $1,000, $1,100 a month. So your cap or your net ROI was something like 20%. It was ridiculous. But the same house today that I was selling for, let's say, $50,000, I don't know, 15 years ago, would sell today for $250,000. That's right, $250,000 for the same house. But the rent is the same. So your cap return, or your return on investment, is 8% as opposed to 15 years ago it was 20%. So again, it's time in the markets. Same with Detroit. You look at Detroit, when we started selling 12 years ago in Detroit, we were selling for $10,000, $15,000. The same house today is going to cost you $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. So they've gone up so much. But if you look at the time frame and you look at how long it's taken for the market to grow, you're talking a good 8 to 10 years. So that's where I see Cleveland being right now. It's kind of in the middle. It's in that intermediate phase where it's still a great time to put money in. And in 5 or 10 years time, a house that you buy for $80,000 could be worth $200,000. So even if you know, you might have an issue with a tenant, or you might have to put money into the property, you have to look at the longevity of the investment. You have to look at 5, 10, 15 years. And these properties are going to be worth a lot of money. Like, I had some really good clients. I had a Norwegian guy that lived in Australia, funny enough, and he bought in the University District in Detroit. And I think he paid like $30,000 or $40,000 for the properties. This was like going back 9, 10 years ago. And I think he sold them a year or 2 years ago for $300,000. So he turned $90,000 into $900,000 over 10 years, and would have received some cash flow and some return on his money. Anything, I would say, after vacancy, after maintenance, anything between 12 to 15%. But he turns 90,000 into 900,000 over 10 years. So we have to see the bigger picture. Detroit, again, a friend of mine down in London, I sold a property to 10 years ago. He's a really good friend, still a good friend of mine now. And he phoned me up about 6 months, 12 months ago. Said, Mike, I bought this house off you for like $14,000. Can you believe that? $14,000. And I've had the same tenant for 10 years, paying, I don't know, $700 a month or whatever. I want to get out because I see the prices have gone up a little bit. So we sold the house for, I think, $50,000, $55,000 for him. So again, he's tripled the money that he put in and seen 10 years of income. So if you are looking at Cleveland as an investment in 2024, my advice, 100%, get involved, look at the right neighborhood. If you have the funds available and you can comfortably put the money away, and when I say comfortably, I mean not that you need the money in 6 months or 12 months time, because then my advice is not to invest. If you've got $80,000, $90,000, or even if you've got $30,000 or $40,000 that you could look at our finance product on and earn 18 to 20% net return, remember I'm talking net after all expenses, then I would look at Cleveland as a market, because I see Cleveland going exactly the same way as I've seen Florida in the past. Like Florida right now, not a great investment. You're looking at 6 to 8% net. So there's better places that you can put your money. So I hope that makes sense. I think Cleveland, great. We've got some fantastic inventory right now. I will stick the website above. We're back at work this week, so I'm back in the office today, tomorrow, Friday. But I think 2024 will be big for Cleveland. So listen, I hope that helps. And if you want to see some of our inventory, get in touch, WhatsApp, email, give us a call. And I wish you guys a happy new year and a very successful 2024. Speak soon.